Greetings and welcome to Sisterly Soul Stories. This is Erica Dotson, and I'm so glad that you decided to tune in again today. If you have not yet had the opportunity to watch last week's episode with Demi Walker, I encourage you to do so, but I am super excited about the phenomenal woman that I have with us on today. My sister, Dr. LaShondra Jackson, is here to talk about an author's journey. And before we get started, I just want to thank each of you for your support, for tuning in, and for listening on Spotify, Google, and Apple platforms, and continuing to reach out and let me know how the podcast has blessed you. So as we get started today, I just want to welcome my sister and thank you for joining us, LaShondra.
Well, it is such a pleasure to be here, Erica, and thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. So I feel like it's been a while since we've had a chance to really chat. So we're going to catch up today. Okay.
Sounds good.
So first, let me ask you, every guest that comes on, I always like to know, how are you doing? How are you doing? And what are you doing to care for yourself during this very difficult time in our world?
So overall, I will say I'm doing okay. Been very busy, balancing life, work, family, authoring a book, and just so many other great things that are happening in life. And so for me, Erica, it's really about taking some time. I don't get the time I want to myself, but I do get some time to myself. So kind of just checking in with my family, being honest about when I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, and them respecting my boundaries and giving me some time just to do me. You know, it could be watch a Lifetime movie, read a book, you know, what have you, but just give me some me time, however that's needed for me at the moment, to just wind down and just really look at the blessings, you know, not really worry about the hustle and bustle, but just look at the blessings that I've been given.
Absolutely. I love what you said about being honest, because I know normally we just kind of take on the weight of the world and taking care of the family and work, and we're super women. We do it all. We put that cape on and we make it happen. But for me, I know I would have to agree during the pandemic, especially when I had to sit down and really get in touch and in tune with how I felt and the stresses that I had been carrying and never like really addressing. I had to start advocating for myself, for my health, for my mental health, for my peace, and to just say, hi, this is too much. I need help. Can you just share this load with me? And it makes a huge difference.
It truly does. It truly does. And I'm just thankful for, you know, for my friends and family respecting that, you know, because sometimes you can share it, Erica, but not always do people respect it. Sometimes you can say, oh my God, I'm so tired, I need a break. And people say, oh, hey, well, can you do this for me real quick? It's like, I just said I need a break. So it's just a blessing to have friends and family around, even if it's just take the kids for me for a few hours so I can get a mani-pedi, you know, just whatever it is that's needed is definitely appreciated.
That's always such a blessing. I think that especially right now, I just turned the news off. I turned it on for a little while and I shut it off because I just try to be very careful about what I allow in. Just making that quiet time and that safe space for yourself, for your own care and nurture. You know, it's getting more difficult, it seems. You know, it seems like every place you go, there's bad news, there's toxicity. And so what are some of the things that you do to just protect yourself? I mean, we have to live in this world. We interact with others. We have to watch the news sometimes, social media and all of those things. But what do you do to just kind of protect your heart and your spirit?
So for me, when you brought up the news, that's always a big one for me. What I try to do, I don't watch the physical news station. I do the news alerts. So that way, if something major is happening, I'm aware. I don't want to be blinded to what's happening in the world, but I don't necessarily want to watch 30 to 40 minutes of it either. So I'll do that. That's one thing that I do. The other thing is I use books, Erica, to tap out of reality sometimes and just get into somebody else's world. And the fact, you know, I look at them as characters, so I don't feel the pressure of what they're going through, because I look at them just as characters. So I just tap out and go into another zone through my books. And so my kids say, Mom, you on another one? You reading another book? I'm like, yes, this is my way out. I grab a book on my device or a paperback book, and I just read and just get away, or sometimes watch movies. I love movies, but the comical, funny ones,
Yeah.
just to kind of just get away from all the stressors, because sometimes it really gets heavy. And so I don't do a lot of reality things, reality TV or anything, because I'm like, those are real people. They're going through real problems. I don't want to see that. I want to see characters who are acting, and hopefully they have a better ending than what the movie dictates. So that's kind of my way of tapping out. Shopping, I love to do, but then it gets me later. So I try to stay away from that, because I get punished later. We have to pay for it all. But I love to shop and enjoy that too. But the safest route for me is books and movies. So that's my safe way to balance life.
Yeah, those are good, safe ones. I would have to say I definitely enjoy binge watching. I haven't done as many movies. What I've been trying to do is just catch up on those shows that I never got a chance to really watch. So recently, How to Get Away with Murder. I know that's not really light, but I binge watched the whole show.
It's a good one though.
And I enjoyed myself. It's a good one. It was a really nice kind of like getaway. And then I have that, legal mind. So I'm always looking at, crime shows to try to figure out who done it and all those good things. So able to do that. And then also, as you said, watching the things that are lighthearted. Now, I do watch reality TV. I just started watching The Ultimatum because everybody was talking about it. And so I have a few more episodes left on that.
Okay.
We'll see what that's about. Just foolishness, a little levity. Because
you need a little foolishness sometimes.
Because we all need it. So I was so excited, LaShondra, when I saw you post about your new book. And I said, oh my gosh, yes, love to see sisters making it happen, especially in the publishing world. So congratulations to you on that major accomplishment. And then also recently getting your doctorate, big ups. You're doing so many wonderful things. And I just want to appreciate you and celebrate you right now. But also wanted to invite you on to tell us about that journey. So I know it wasn't probably something that just happened overnight. It probably was something that you thought about, contemplated, and, kind of just went through several steps to make it happen. So I would love for you to just kind of tell us what that was like. Because there are many sisters that have stories in their heart and books in their mind and want to do it, might have some papers written and have thought about publishing and have never gotten around to do it. So we want to hear how you made it happen.
All right. Sounds great, Erica. So the biggest piece for me, I'm an educator. So let's start there. So an educator by heart. I was the little kid with the briefcase that was teaching her cousins how to read and write and all of that. And when they were not around, I had the dolls and I taught them how to read and write. And so I was always big about promoting people to be their best selves, because I always felt like the world could be so cruel and take so much heart away from people. And when you take the heart and the joy away, sometimes you take the dreams away too. So I'm just a component of individuals believing in themselves and loving themselves despite what people say. So as a kid, my mama always said, look in the mirror and be the judge of yourself. And then everybody else has to rise to your standards versus you rising to theirs. So for me, it was always, Erica, just about how can I make somebody feel better? How can I show them their God-given gifts? So I did it through teaching. I have a background in psychology, marriage and family therapy. So I'm just big about making people better. Wherever you are, I feel like you can be better. So that's how the background. So background, like I said, I was an educator. My whole family pretty much are all educators of some sort. short. So I was the kid at the schools, after school, I had to go to my mom's school and be there, my godmother sitting in her English classes, as she teaches. And so that's just my background. It's all about learning and growing. And so for me, I always had the heart of hearts to want to write a book. Never thought much of it. I was just like, I want to see, I want to write a book one day.
Yeah.
No biggie, just on a list. In education, one day sitting in a room, we were going through books for a literacy program. Mm-hmm. And my name is LaShondra. That is not a common name that you see in a book. And it was in a book. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, my name is in a book. And my colleague, she probably never even thought nothing of it, but she said, why are you so excited that your name is in a book? I said, because you don't see LaShondra, in a book every day. And I was like, girl, you know what? You're right. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to do it. Yeah. And so, like I said, went to church one night. Lakewood Church had a women's conference. Mm-hmm. And a lady was speaking. I can't remember her name, but she was the guest speaker. And she talked about big dreams. Mm. And she said, ladies, I want you to take a moment to write down that big dream that you've always had. You've been straggling, just not doing it. Write it down. And so I wrote it down. I said, hey, I'm going to write a children's book. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to write several children's books. And so the next step, she said, now I want you to go out. If you want to write a book, go buy a journal tomorrow and start writing. Just start writing, no matter what, just write something. And I did. And so I went out, I did just that, Erica, and I wrote my book. I wrote it within like 2 days. I sat down, I did it like I was writing a paper. I said, I have all these degrees. I write papers every day, right? So I'm like, I can do this. And I sat down and I wrote it. I let my son read it. He was like, Mom, I love it. I love it. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, I love it. I'm going to see what it takes to get illustrators. I didn't know how. I didn't know the process. Yeah. Tried several illustrators, had bad luck, gave money away with contracts. People didn't fulfill the job. I mean, just the worst luck you can imagine. When I tried to get this work done, that's what happened. Pandemic hit. So the lady disappeared, never saw her again. It was just craziness. And so I wanted to give up. I'm like, I don't have money to just keep, dishing out. I don't have it. And so I went to God. I said, God, you gave me this dream. I said, so show me what I need to do. I said, I need an illustrator and I need somebody that can really take my family, because my book is about my family, and really give it justice, really serve us correctly. And so he put a name in my head of a friend I had in doctoral school. And I said, you think she'll do this for me? He said, go try it. And so I went to my friend, Dr. Haley Porter. I said, hey, sis, I said, this my vision. Would you do this for me? And she said, oh, it's my pleasure. No problem. So I say, what I owe you, do I owe you anything? She said, oh, you don't owe me anything. This is my gift to you. And I was like, friend, for real? She's like, yeah, nope, copyright, everything is yours. Go be great. And I was like, oh my God. So it's just, God does it. So when you listen to him, you trust him, you go to the people he wants for you, not who you want, but who he wants for you. He will open doors that's just unbelievable. And so my friend and sister, she did the illustrations for me. I had already had the words. And so I told my husband, he was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like, she depicted our family, everything, because she was a friend and sister. So she knew us well. And I said, well, now I gotta get the money, right? So I did already gave money away. And my husband said, no worries, we're gonna do it. Find the find the publishing company you want to go through. My boss, Bertie Brown, at the time, she said, well, I tried to write a book once, I never finished, but Author House is a great place to go. Try them. Went through the process. I don't even think it took 30 maybe 30 days because the big pieces were already done. Put it together and made it happen.
Wow. Wow. I heard so many things along the way, and I want to just like celebrate your faith, because sometimes we can count ourselves out before we even get started. And just simply being obedient, first of all, when you heard the women speaker told you to write down that dream. And sometimes when we get challenged with facing our dreams or our goals, we start small because we don't want to feel disappointed or maybe feel overwhelmed. But it's so beautiful that you were able to list that big dream that you had, one that you had from early on, and then trust God to help you bring it to fruition. What would you say to some of those sisters who are stuck right there, who are stuck with actually verbalizing or just writing down that big dream or goal out of fear?
I think it starts with, I think how we started this conversation, Erica, is about time for you. You can't hear God when you're always running, you're always going and moving. It's having some me time, the prayer closet, going into that corner and just saying, God, I'm here, show me what you have for me, not necessarily what I want for myself, because I have had so many big dreams for myself that I thought the path I should have followed, but God said, no, LaShondra, that's not what I have for you. Yeah. So I think it's definitely building dreams, but always going back to the source, who's God, and saying, God, here are my steps. Here's my plan. Now I give it to you, and you guide me and take me in the direction that you want to go. So I think that's step one, Erica. And then step two is just start. No matter how small, just start. Get a pad, get a pen, get your laptop, and just start writing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The other piece that I want to highlight is having sister friends that were around you that were just as gifted in different areas that complemented the dream that God had put in your heart. And it's amazing how when it's time for something to come to pass, how when you go ahead and do it, everything you need is right there. Can you talk a little bit about how that felt? What that was like, because, that's something else that gets in our way, when we're trying to figure out how to make our dreams, because we always want to see what we could see and try to make it happen ourselves. But what is it like? What is that?
So for me, that was one of the most special components of it, because I thank God for the challenge that he gave me with, as I stated, how, I hired a publisher, I hired an illustrator. Basically, I gave away money because they did not, fulfill the job. But it made me go back to God again, because at first I was doing it on my own. And then when everything fell through, I had to go back again to the source, and I had to say, God, show me a way. And I mean, I remember so clearly sitting in our dissertation doctoral classes, my sister, she was drawing, and it was a simple activity. It was like, tell us something about yourself through art or through a word. And she drew this beautiful bird. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so talented. Yeah. Didn't think nothing of it. I was like, oh, she's talented. Later on, maybe a month in, I was like, oh, I wonder if she would, do my illustrations for me. I said, nah, I'm too shy. I'm not going to ask her, to do this for me, because we didn't know each other yet. And then later on in the class, we share, like, where do you come? Where did you grow up? We had so much in common. And then before you know it, we became project buddies on things, what have you. The relationship grew, blossomed, so on and so forth. And as I stated, I went through other people. I never bothered her about it. And then when I went to God, and he just said, hey, you have somebody that's willing and able. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out on faith. I'm gonna ask. She may hurt my feelings. She may say, girl, I'm not doing that. That's too much work, because that's a lot. And then, you're taking somebody else's dream and you're trying to turn it into life with images. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, she may not receive it, or she may charge too much. I can't afford it. I didn't know what to think, but I just obeyed. We went to dinner. I asked her, I showed her what I had already made. I already had some sketches, of what I wanted, but trust me, I cannot draw, sisters. So it was like little stick men and, stuff like that. It was nothing compared to what the book looks like. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, I love your story. She was like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm like, okay, what I owe you was the cost. And when that girl said nothing, she said, this is just out of love. I just want to see you grow and prosper. I'm like, oh my God, waterfall. I'm just like, are you serious? She's like, yes. She's like, I love you. I want your dreams to come true. And however I can help, I want to help you. And so this book for me is just a blessing. Just knowing you have somebody in your corner, another woman of color, mm-hmm. another doctor, who we were right there side by side, graduating together, right there side by side, now author and illustrator of a children's book for the first time. I mean, it's just so many beautiful things for me, and to see her love for me and my family through her illustrations just touched me even more, because you don't know people really capture that much about your family until you see it. It's like, oh my God, she captured it, she did it. So just a blessing, Erica. It's truly just me saying thank you to God for keeping me attentive. My family, they laugh at me because I always say, God and I, we tight. It's like nobody mess with me because, I'm God's child. Yeah. And so, and when I get blessings like this, I'm like, see, God, I was telling the truth. We tight. We are it. So just happy and elated. Yeah, we good people. God and I, we do our thing together. So, all I can share is just listen to him, and it might be scary. It may not make any sense, but just know that he knows best for us. And so although we have our own plans, God has bigger and better plans. And I remember the illustrations that I was paying for, not in comparison to what I was blessed with when I listened to God and went to the person that he designed for me.
That's the other thing too. Sometimes we can get ahead of his plan for us, and we're trying to select the people that we want as opposed to who he has in store for us to pour into our vision or to our dream. And we'll see, right? We'll see, that wasn't what it was supposed to be. And then you'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt when he does show up.
Yes. And that's why I'm thankful, Erica, for the moment of hurt that I had in that process, because I don't think I would have appreciated Dr. Porter as much, because it would have been like, oh, okay, thanks, but to see what I went through, and then to hear God tell me what I needed, and then to go and get the blessing that came for me and my family through this, because it just doesn't impact me. My children are in a book. My little brown boy and my brown girl, they're in a book. My husband's in a book. I mean, she even captured his business logo. I mean, just when I say detailed things that other people may not even realize, but for us, when we read that book, we see so many connections to my sorority, to, like that his business, just so many little pieces. Even the school is named after my grandmother. It's just the little things that the average person may never even say, oh, okay, that's the name of the school. But for me, when I see it, it means so much, because a dream was always that if I ever make it to start on one day and have some good funds behind me, I would get a building named after my grandmother. Yeah. So couldn't do it yet on foundation, but I did it in a book. So I'm
Yeah.
happy about it.
Absolutely. I mean, because the Bible says, the vision is for an appointed time. And we have to wait for it, and
Mm-hmm.
what the part that I really like hearing about is the legacy, because that's what that is, legacy, leaving your family legacy and actualizing the dream, the vision that God has given you for what's coming next. And so I'm so excited to hear that, because I was going to ask you, so he did this big thing for you, right? You trusted him, you had faith, you got your book published. What's next? And so to know that the preview of what's next, the coming attractions, are actually in this book,
Mm-hmm.
really is like a shout cue, because
Yes.
whenever you want to look at it, you could see what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question is, like, as you go from faith to faith, from triumph to
Mm-hmm.
triumph, what do you see next on this journey?
So for me, Erica, right now, my husband, he just took a leap of faith and left his job of 16 and a half years to fully become an entrepreneur in the media field with photography and media services. And so just trying to expand on that. And that's our family business, just expanding on that, getting us some storefronts for say like photography studios and different banquet halls, just really trying to tap into that market. I about now almost 2 years, I got my hair locked. And so I started my own hair care line, which is called Dr. Locks with Rose Water, and just a great way to, again, just make us great, just something that can uplift us, make us proud about who we are, our locks, our natural hair, and just something that can nourish it and bring it to life and make it even stronger. Because I think our hair is a staple, for us. And so just being great, like I said, in the skin that you're in. And then as far as the book is concerned, my end goal, Erica, is truly to be a writer. Like I would love to be able to write children books and eventually like some adult learning books as well. But just about uplifting people, because I see the hurt, Erica, in schools when I see children who look so sad. And to me, school should not be a place where you're sad. It should be a place where you're welcomed and loved, and no matter what life has dealt, what hand life has dealt you. When you go to school, you should be able to forget about all that for a little bit, and be happy in a place that's safe and that you can receive the knowledge that you need to grow. So for me, it's just seeing this book in the hands of children. Oh, I can't wait. And when I get the pictures of different kids who received it, I'm like, oh my God, I want to cry. I get all emotional. Because that's what it was for. It was to uplift, and even to adults, that it's not too late to get your dream, So even though it's a children's book, it's, characters and artwork, but adults, I'm speaking to you today, moms, dads, uncles, aunties, it's not too late to fulfill the dream that you have for yourself. Trust God, talk to God consistently throughout the process, and just start. Just start somewhere, a name, start writing down your thoughts, but somebody needs to hear them, because we all are a testimony to someone. So just believe in yourself and start the process, but keep God. That's the number one key, is keeping him close to your heart through it all.
That's so powerful, because, especially during this time, springtime, heading into the summer, especially for us as educators, everyone's evaluating, trying to figure out what's next. What do I do? How do I move? And this is the perfect time for this conversation and for this very powerful testimony to share to others, because that's what sometimes gets in the way. We know what's familiar and what we can see in front of us, but actually just really stepping out on faith and pulling out what's already inside of you. those dreams, those talents, because all the things that you're talking about are things that you said were there from childhood. You know, you're teaching and you're caring about people,
Yes.
spilling over onto your family, and even how you all are moving forward. You all are all on a faith journey. And congratulations to your husband also, who is
Mhm.
moving in entrepreneurship. Now tell us about these locks, and tell us about this journey also. I know this is a little off topic, but I think it is still on topic.
So it's back again, Erica, to doing what's best for you, you know. So I was the girl, you know me from back in the day. I had every hairstyle you could imagine. I had the braids dropped low, I had the bobs, I had the bundles. I mean, I did it all.
Uh-huh.
And I kept looking at locks, you know, and I was like, I like it. It's different. On my family, it's like, girl, you're not gonna keep that hairstyle. You're not, you know, you're not gonna keep a hairstyle that long. I said, guys, I really think I'm ready to do this thing. I'm ready. They all laughed at me. You're gonna give up. You're not gonna do it. It's like, y'all don't know me. I get it done. So went, did my locks. I love it. I just love it. I do absolutely nothing. I just do this and I spray some rose water in there and I'm done. Like I'm done for the whole day. I'm done. So at first I was buying it, you know, buying rose water from everywhere else. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this for myself. And I know what's in it. You know, that was the big
Yeah.
thing for me with having the natural hair, trying to stay close as possible to chemical free. It's hard when you're buying things offline because you truly don't know what someone's putting in the products.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, you know what, let me do some research. Look, I just finished doctoral school. Research is second nature to me right now. So I'm like, let me do some research, find out what I need to do. And so that's what I did. And so I started my own rose water line and growing that product too. But just it's all about, it's still back to women of color being proud about who we are, our differences. And that's what the book talks about. No matter how different you are, just be great in who you are. If you have the big cheeks, the skinny cheeks, you know, you have a little more meaty, your skin, whatever you are, just love you, because no one can love you if you're not loving yourself. So I just think my whole thing in life, Erica, if I truly get my way, is to just show women that, hey, you rock. And Erica, you know how we used to do each other back then, like, girl, you rocking it today. Hey, oh, I like that. Oh, you cute. You know, I
Yes.
just believe in motivating people and encouraging people, because I think, you know, everybody goes through so much. Life is not easy. You know, it's hard and you're trying to be great out here in this world. And sometimes you get, you know, some bad things thrown your way. And so anytime I can be uplifting or I can do something to help another woman feel great, you know me, I'll tell you, oh, where you get your earring, girl? I got them off Amazon, girl, 10 pair for $12. You know, I don't hide it. I want everybody to be great. I want everybody to feel beautiful. And so however I can support people and grow, that's what I want to do. And part of that is growing for myself. So I always start with myself. That's why I started writing a book. I started the hair. It was for me. I start here first. I had to get me right. And then my goal is to inspire people after that. And so even my daughter, she's like, Mommy, I'm ready. I'm finna do some locks like you. I said, girl, you're ready. Let's do it. You know, but I just want her to know that if you wear hair weave, that's fine. But love you underneath it though. You know, love who you are underneath it. So that's just my big deal, is for women of color to just love them. You know, if it's a bald head, locked hair, bundles, whatever you do, just girl, go rock it. Go be great with it. You know, walk in with the baddest attitude that everybody's like, oh, as I tell you all the time, Erica, your smile is contagious. You know, we bring that big smile into the room and just do you, because once you do you, the rest of the world, guess what? They got to rise to the occasion and accept who you are. So that's what the book is about. That's what the brand is about. And even the photography for our company, it's about capturing women at their best and just going out there and just being the best woman you can be.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm just incredibly excited. I want you to tell us where we can get everything. So tell us the name of the book and where we can get it.
Okay, so the name of the book is My Little Big Dreamer. So this can be found on any online platform. So Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Author's House is the publishing company. But yeah, you Google it, My Little Big Dreamer, Dr. LaShondra Williams Jackson. And the focus of it is the power of inclusivity and imagination. And so just talking about how to be included, right? If we're all can accept and love one another and never forget to imagine, like don't leave that piece of your childhood away. Keep the imagination alive, because everybody knows me at work. They say, girl, you be making up some stuff. I'm a big dreamer. Like I come up with ideas and my team, they know y'all gotta make it happen. I just make up all this stuff. But because I just know that when you dream, things can happen. And so as I tell everybody, yes, it's a children's book, but it's also for adults, because I want you to remember, don't stop dreaming. Don't allow the pressures of life, jobs, or anything else to take away the ability to dream. Because when you dream, you can build those legacies for your family and do the things that the little girl or little boy always wanted to do. You still can do it. Just go out and be great. That's my motto. Go be great. It's not as hard as it seems if you just start with a positive approach to life. So my hair care line is on Etsy at Dr. Locke's Natural Hair Care, or you can just DM me at Dr. Locke's Natural Hair Care on Instagram. And I can get it shipped to you or personally deliver or pick up. It's up to you. And then my husband and I, our company is TRJ Photography. That's one aspect of the company, that's the photography and media aspect. But then we have Pose and Snap, and that's where we do entertainment. So we had a 360 spin booths, photo booths, different things like that to bring your party to life. Again, to have fun, live your best life, and enjoy the moments, because no day is promised to us. So it's important to take in every day and just have a blast.
Well, I'm just, I am Team Jackson. I celebrate Team Jackson. And I'm excited about all of you all's endeavors and encourage all of our listeners to support these businesses. And I want to just thank you for always being such a light, for being an encourager. From the time we met up until now, you are exactly the same, and you are a breath of fresh air. And I'm so grateful. So grateful that the Lord allowed our paths to cross. And I wish you the very best on this endeavor, these set of endeavors, this journey, and for wherever the Lord plans to take you next. I know it's going to be amazing.
Right. I'm excited about it, Erica. And so definitely thank you for this opportunity. I was so glad that you offered this to me, and I'm appreciative for it. So thank you. And thank you for our friendship that we've had over the years. It's always been a blessing to be in your company. So thank you so much. And thank you for what you're doing for women all around the world. I appreciate you.
You're so welcome. And thank you all for tuning in this Saturday. I hope you've been blessed by this testimony, by this powerful soul story. And we encourage you to listen to the podcast on Google, Apple, or Spotify platforms, or just tune in next Saturday. Please share this with a friend if you have been blessed. And if you want to share your testimony, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a blessed day.